Kim stood poised in the rooftop condo, the soft fabric of her open robe clinging to her sides as she embraced the morning light that flooded through the expansive floor-to-ceiling windows. The sun's golden rays danced across her skin, casting a warm glow. She lifted her chin slightly, her shoulders drawn back as if she wore an invisible cape, a symbol of her unwavering resilience. The sounds of the city outside was punctuated by the hum of manned drones zipping through the sky like giant birds, their metallic whirs a reminder of the modern world just beyond her glass sanctuary. In this moment, she felt a rush of nostalgia wash over her, reminiscent of carefree days spent at the mall with friends, skipping classes and laughing without a care. With a gentle sway of her hips, she surrendered to the alluring melody that played on a loop in her mind, each note inviting her to embrace the joy of the present. Her thoughts drifted to Alicia, her dear friend who was set to leave for Los Angeles in just a few hours. With a spark of excitement, she picked up her phone and opened the InstaFace app, eager to holochat and share a moment before Alicia's departure. But then a flicker of curiosity crossed her mind, nudging her to reach out to someone else. Leonard, the security chief, a man who perhaps knew her husband even better than she did. She scrolled through her apps, her heart racing slightly as she opened her robe wider, allowing the fabric to fall naturally around her. With a deep breath, she relaxed her shoulders and prepared to launch the holochat. "Leonard, I need to speak with you privately, please," she said, her voice steady despite the unconventional circumstances. Instead of the visual connection she anticipated, her phone chimed with a deep, resonant voice. "Good morning, Mrs. Phillips. I hope you don't mind doing a voice-only call. I can see that you're not dressed." Kim chuckled softly, a teasing glint in her eye. "Voice is sufficient, but since when have you been embarrassed by my nakedness?" "I'm trying to be respectful and professional," Leonard replied, his tone measured and serious. "Okay, fair enough, but let's skip the formalities. This is off the record. Are you aware of any health problems with my husband? Has he done a bioscan since he returned from Japan? Better yet, were you monitoring his activities while he was there? As you know, we have several methods to maintain contact, including an implant just behind his left ear. So yes, in a sense I was always monitoring him. Unfortunately, I can't discuss his activities or his health at this time, for security reasons." His voice was calm, yet there was an underlying tension in his words that made Kim's heart race. The morning sun continued to shine brightly, illuminating her space, but a shadow of uncertainty began to creep into her thoughts. Kim stood there, her brow furrowed in confusion, as she processed Leonard's evasive response. It was unusual for him to deflect her inquiries, and she could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on her. With a deep breath, she decided to shift her approach, her voice steady yet probing. "All right, no problem. Where is Ian right now?" "He's on his way home to Oakville. I programmed his car's navigation, but he's currently stuck due to an accident on the QEW highway. He should arrive there in about 25 minutes. The mention of having to program Ian's GPS brought a flicker of concern to Kim's eyes. "So, you're aware of his strange behavior, this apparent amnesia. Did he experience a brainwave attack while he was in Japan?" "I'm sorry, Kim, but due to security protocols, I can't discuss Ian's medical condition right now," Leonard reiterated, his voice devoid of the warmth she had hoped for. Taken aback, Kim felt a rush of indignation flood her system. She placed her hands firmly on her hips, mimicking the posture she often adopted when reprimanding her children. "Oh, come on, Leonard," she exclaimed, her voice rising in frustration, the syllables of his name slicing through the air. "How long have we known each other? I've bared my soul to you. You know everything about me. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. You should know by now that I only want what's best for my husband." Leonard's tone softened momentarily, but he remained resolute. "Kim, I understand your concerns, but I assure you, I have everything under control. I won't let anything happen to Ian. I've always protected him, as well as you, Khadija, and the children. And as per Ian's wishes, that protection extends to your family, your sisters, and anyone he deems a good person." Tension thickened in the air as he continued. "You know just as well as I do that Ian is a target for numerous subversive agencies and individuals," he pressed, his voice a mixture of urgency and confidence. "But thanks to our advanced technical capabilities, I'm able to monitor billions of nanobots and bioengineered threats, even as we speak, from the substances in the food you eat to the molecules in the air you breathe. Some gather information for the government, others for industry, but most bioengineered substances are malicious. It's nothing I can't handle though, Leonard declared, a confident glint in his voice, as if he alone stood between them and an unseen danger lurking just beyond their reach. You've recited that same speech to me countless times, Leonard, Kim replied, her voice laced with exasperation. Kim, there are so many things I choose to keep from you, even from Ian. I do this because I know you won't be able to handle the weight and worry. Ian trusts me to navigate these shadows quietly, to work diligently behind the scenes. If I were to stir unrest and turmoil in my mission to protect you, it would serve no purpose, would it? Life would become a tangled mess and we wouldn't want that, would we? So, it's best I remain in the background. And by the way, he added with a playful and lighter tone, you still look as beautiful as ever. Cheer up and don't let worry steal your joy. As Leonard spoke, a warmth spread through Kim, softening the edges of her anger. His familiar charm had a way of melting her frustration like morning sunlight breaking through a heavy fog. She felt the corners of her mouth pull into a broad smile, the tension in her shoulders easing. Leonard had done it again, calmed her tempestuous heart, if only for a moment. Anything else, Mrs. Phillips? He asked, his voice teasing yet sincere. No, Leonard, she replied, her tone now tinged with warmth. I'll trust that you're handling things as usual. Just know that I don't appreciate being kept in the dark. I promise I'll never let you down, he assured, his voice firm yet reassuring. With a melodic chime, Leonard signed off, leaving an echo of his words hanging in the air. Though the compliment had lightened her mood, a shadow still lingered at the back of her mind. The weight of Leonard's earlier words pressed down on her, a heavy stone in her chest. How had they managed to survive the past 15 years? Constantly under threat as the owners of Tangler technology, the most pivotal invention of the last century. Life is good when you don't have to worry, she reminded herself, a mantra she clung to fiercely. As she walked toward the bathroom, the words tumbled from her lips in a whispered incantation against her fears. Please don't let me worry, please don't let me worry, please don't let me worry. Each repetition was a fragile shield, a desperate plea for peace in a world that felt perpetually on the brink of chaos. Thank you for protecting us, Leonard, she said aloud, her voice breaking the quiet of the condo. A soft, computerized chime echoed through the security system, a reassuring reminder that Leonard was still watching. Kim couldn't help but smile broadly, a warmth spreading through her as she felt his presence even from afar. With a graceful flick of her wrist, she let her robe slip to the floor, the fabric pooling around her feet as she paused before the full-length mirror in the bathroom. The soft glow of the overhead lights illuminated her figure, revealing the curves and contours she had come to know so well. She reached up to playfully tousle her short, curly hair, the strands bouncing back into place with a life of their own. Her cheeks, rounded and soft, caught her eye as she turned her head from side to side, examining every detail. Taking a deep breath, she inhaled deeply, lifting her chest with pride to admire her C-cup-sized breasts. A small act of defiance against the insecurities that often nagged at her. Her gaze traced down as she poked at the firmness of her stomach before exhaling, the air releasing any lingering tension. Next, her attention shifted to her hips and thighs, which she admired as she turned her body, reveling in the way her silhouette shifted in the mirror's reflection. Finally, she pivoted fully, presenting her back to the glass. A mischievous smile crept across her lips as she glanced back over her shoulder to appreciate her best asset, her naturally thick butt. With both hands, she gave her cheeks a playful lift, watching them bounce back into place with a satisfying jiggle. Damn right, I still got it, she murmured under her breath, confidence radiating from her. After a refreshing shower, she dressed quickly, the fabric of her clothes hugging her body just right. With a sense of purpose, Kim set out to tackle the day's agenda before heading home to Oakville to join her family. Her plans included a stop at the bustling Eaton Center Mall for some last-minute shopping, a quick visit to her art gallery to gather important documents, and to check in on her staff. But more than anything, with Ian no longer part of her plans, she found herself looking forward to a quick bite to eat at the mall, savoring the freedom of her choices.
Do you like this audiobook so far? Then like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for more exciting episodes. Also, Visit the author's website at paulwalkerbooks.com.